Good morning. So I'm in the greenhouse this morning and just checking on everything, getting things watered. It's pretty cold outside. So my greenhouse is heated because I start a lot of my early seeds in January, and I give them a lot of time. I want to see if starting my tomatoes earlier this year helps me bring in a quicker yield, so I'm not waiting until August for all of my tomatoes. So all of these were started I think I started somewhere around January 10th. And then these have all been up potted to their own little cups. I've got some cauliflower. It got a little hot in here the other day and I lost a couple of cauliflower plants. So I'm going to see if the roots are still alive and see if they kind of come back. But these guys made it through the heat. Yeah, when it gets sunny, this greenhouse really heats up, even if I turn the heat off during the day. So we have things going pretty good. There's certain plants that I won't start this early, so I'll show you what I did start in January. I just got my cauliflower, celery. Celery I start very early because it takes a long time for it to grow. So celery I always start in January. They're tiny little seeds, and these took a good month to even come up. So the germination takes a long time. You want to be patient. You don't want to give it very hot temperatures. Keep it consistently moist, and the seeds just kind of get spread along the top because they're pretty tiny. But now that they're up, it's just a matter of keeping them going now. Once I get some nice true leaves on them, I will up pot them to actual soil because these are in a seed starter mix. So I have beefsteak tomatoes here that have been up potted. You can see a couple of them struggled in some heat we got, but they've all bounced back pretty nicely. And then Roma tomatoes are all doing okay here. I have a couple of broccoli seedlings in the front. These four are for jalapenos that have not sprouted just yet. Peppers take forever. And a couple of cabbages. And my onions are over here. I up potted a couple of my sweet onions. The cups were big, so I did 2 per pot into soil. My walla onions have sprouted, and you'll see when your onions sprout, you get these the original seedling plants that come up will die back. So onions look a little ugly for a little while they're really establishing their seedlings. Once that true leaf comes up, the first one will die back and you'll get these stringy little brown things. That's normal. You can cut them back if you want to. I cut them back when I up potted my sweet onions. Same with the leeks. The leeks will do the same thing. And just keep them watered well so they don't dry out too quickly. That's some iceberg lettuce that's looking like it wants some soil because it's coming out very pale. So I'm going to have to get these up potted into some dirt. Some more walla onions. This is purple broccoli that I'm curious about. And some flowers that I just kind of threw all together, and some zinnias. More leeks. These are pepper trays. Peppers take a long time. My Cubanella peppers always come up first. So these guys are sprouting, and my bell peppers are on the way. These have been in seed starter mix for a month now, and they're finally just starting to come up. So be patient with peppers. They like it warm. They like it very warm, and when temperatures keep fluctuating pretty low at night, they might not germinate. They'll kind of keep waiting for the temperatures to be a little bit more consistent. So peppers just need some patience, which is why I start them in January, so that they can take their time and do what they need to do. Some cilantro, some more tomatoes. I think these are beefsteaks. I have more tomato seedlings here. I do a lot of tomatoes because I rely on them so much for canning. These are Amish paste that just came up. And we'll up pot them as soon as they start putting on some leaves. More flour mixtures and some onions that did not do anything. Those are more sweet onions and not one of them sprouted, so I'm thinking the seed packet might have been old. So I'll recycle this, the seed starter mix, for something else and find another use for that tray. This is a hot pepper blend. I just started these, I think, last week, so we're not going to see any sign of them for a little while. And up here I have a sweet potato. This is actually a store-bought sweet potato that had some really good eyes in it, so I figured I'd throw it in a cup of water and see if I got some shoots, and I did. So we're going to root these off once they get a little bit bigger. But that's all you do. Take a little piece of your sweet potato and support it in some clean water, give it some light, and those eyes will grow into plants. Then you snip the plants off, root them in water, and you're good to go to put it in your garden. So that's just a quick little greenhouse tour. I don't have a real lot going on just yet. These are just the early things. I'll start this soon in the year. Very soon I'll be starting things like the squashes. I did start some cucumbers just for the fun of it. Usually I wouldn't start them this early because they're such vigorous growers. They don't need a whole lot of time. So that's kind of what I do. Like if it doesn't need a lot of time, it's just going to grow super fast, like beans, for instance. I'm not going to start them this early. Zucchini, beans, all my big squash plants, my pumpkins, I'll be starting those quite a bit later in the year. So this is all the stuff that's either slow growing or I'd like to see a little bit of a harvest earlier than what I would normally wait for. And I have another greenhouse that stays cold, and I think I'm going to put some lettuces and move some of the lettuces up to that greenhouse so that they can grow in the cool where they like it. Like I have all this spinach over here. Spinach likes it cold, so eventually I'm going to take this whole pot and take it to the cold greenhouse, and then I'll put them in the dirt up there and they can do their thing staying on the cool side. This is some sweet basil. I have some lettuce down here I kind of put on the ground so that I can put it away from the heat. Lettuce and spinach and cabbage, and cauliflower even, they don't like the heat. So if you're noticing your plants are wilting too easily or shriveling back, they're probably just too warm. And if you're watering them and they're still suffering, they're too warm. So plants like these, they lose water very easily. They like it cool. I try to keep them out of the hot sun, so that's why this little guy is down on the ground where it's a little bit more shaded. And I'll probably eventually do the same thing for the spinach now that it's getting its actual leaves. Okay, so, and then like wherever the greenhouse gets the warmest, like this is where the sun comes up on this side, I try to put the plants that really like the sun and the heat over here. Tomato seedlings, pepper seedlings like it warm. My cilantro, while it was sprouting, liked it warm. I might move that back off now that it has some leaves. And these tomatoes, I like to experiment, so I did a few tomato seeds directly in dirt instead of seed starter mix. And I'm finding the ones started in dirt are much more vigorous and strong than the ones that I started in the seed starter mix. So, food for thought. That's the ones started in soil, and these are the ones started in seed starter mix, and they were planted on the same day. So you can see quite a difference. So I'll do more experiments with that, with upcoming seeds, and probably start more seeds in actual dirt versus seed starter mix. And don't be afraid to experiment with your seeds and your plants. I mean, that's how you learn about what is going to do best for you and your environment, how you take care of plants and the things that you do. It's different for everybody because we have our own methods, we have different water, we have different environments, we have different everything. So if you don't experiment, I find that you could be missing out on some really great learning for yourself and your techniques. All right, guys. Well, that's all I'm going to do for the day. So I wish you all well. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.